What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your space, I'm in your face, and I'm definitely blessed to be here on this wonderful day. It is June the 8th, 2026, here in the great state of Mississippi. We are live at 5 here on the Primetime Network. I'm your host, Big G, and you're tuned into Industry Talk. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. It's a wonderful day. Just reading through some emails, checking on a few things, making sure that you guys can see me clearly. You can hear me crisply. And that all systems are go. Terry Allred, what's going on, brother? Terry Allred. Where you at, Terry? Where you at? You sitting at home? You at the barber shop? You in the studio? Where you at, Mr. Allred? We're giving folks a minute to come on in. Talk to me, Terry. Where you at? I know you're in Greensboro, North Carolina, where it all goes down all the time. In the city that never sleeps, although it's country. Yes, indeed. But talk to me, Terry. Where you at? What you got going on? It's it's Monday. It's Monday. Going through all of this stuff. Get it all squared away. Yeah. There we go. See, the YouTube wasn't right. Got to get the YouTube right. Yeah. I want to make sure when you chime in and you lock in that you see me everywhere. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. My apologies. My apologies. I was here, but my audio was off. We've got some things we're trying to get squared away. So I'm definitely having to field these calls. But Terry, what's going on with you, man? Let me get this link over here to JB. I'm not, JB, know I'm running a little late. We're sending it over to him. All right. So we'll get JB on here. Let me get this conversation crunk. It is Monday. Tomorrow we have the pleasure of having Miss Kiara Smith and Emily Mitchell will be in the building. Will be in the studio with us tomorrow. And we're talking about mental health, her mental health battles, and things that she's experienced personally with family. Um, her and Emily will be having a great conversation. So let me give you the rundown. This is what's starting to happen. We have individuals in the network that are truly interested in participating in the success of the network. So we begin to branch off with different shows, same time segment, with different individuals, different talking heads that are professionals in their field, giving you information and insight. And it's coming from, you know, folks that you can consult with, can call, can make appointments with to deal with various issues um, that you may be dealing with, and I can't explain it to you because I'm not a clinical professional. Um, I'm in the entertainment industry. I'm an IT specialist. I'm a graphics designer. I'm a concert promoter. Um, when it comes to mathematics, yes, I'm proficient and thorough. When it comes to those things, I know my role as it relates to what I do and what I've done in my job. With the Naval Oceanographic Office and the Department of Defense, I was a computer specialist. Information, data processing, programming, figuring how to penetrate different architecture and machinery, computer based operations, gathering intelligence, studying and mapping the bottom of the ocean, side scan sonar. I could sit there and talk to you about the things that I've done personally and how effective and efficient I was in my job, which leads me into why I moved the way I move present day because of my past experiences. Yeah, sure. It's going to be a great show. I'm glad to see you um, feeling better. Um, you know, you're talking about you dealing with your abdominal pains and um, some of the ailments that you're experiencing, and you're still getting out there and you're pushing. Jay Shaw, like I told you, man. You're in our prayers, your family in our prayers all the time. And, if everybody and anybody who's on here tapped in with us, make sure y'all reach out to Shaw. Tell him what's up. He's not looking for sympathy. He don't give a damn if you care or you don't care. I'm just telling you what it is. But if you're part of our ecosystem and you know Jonathan Shaw, then at the same time, hey man, love is love. And we all keep it real here. We look out for our own. So just reaching out to my brother, make sure that he's cool. Just like Braswell was dealing with the loss of two family members. Terry Cherry is dealing with her mother battling with cancer. It's life. How to say life is lifing. You can't you can't sit there and stop what's happening, the real. It is what it is. But one thing that we can do and can have and always stand on guard about is being human and being compassionate about our fellow man, about our brothers and sisters out here in the world. You do not have to take the road that everyone else is journeying down. I think they call it the road less traveled. And sometimes that doesn't always, it's not always appealing to, individuals that like to follow. They like to follow the crowd. They like to follow the group. They like the mob mentality. And that's cool if you're a follower. Because I'm not here to tell you what to do or not to do. It's cool if you're a follower. But if you're a trendsetter, if you're a go-getter, if you're self-motivated, rain, snow, sleet, shine, hell to high water, it doesn't matter. You know that you are in control of your destiny. I don't think people understand when I say that, or when I talk about that, because it's a cliche statement. It's a very cliche statement. Everybody makes them. You know what I'm saying? Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You'll push through. You can make it. Get tough. Yeah, all that shit sounds good, but it's all cliche. Are you following through? Because there's ones that talk real good. They talk about it. But are they really about that life? And when I say that life, don't take it out of context, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take it on the road of you got to be hard and gangster. That's not what I'm talking about. No, are you really about that life that you're talking about? You see? I might be a comedian. Just because I'm a comedian and I tell jokes don't mean that I don't take life seriously. You may not know what's going on up here as to why I tell jokes. The pain that I may be going through. And telling jokes is the only thing that relieves me and eases my mind because I can release the anger. I can release the pressure. I can release the animosity. Some people direct their energies into playing sports, and that's their solace, that's their getaway. Others reading. So my conversation can hit you at all levels, right? I really have no issue or concern in terms of what the topic is. The conversation really can be anything and everything. Drupi Martinez, Drupi Martinez. Que pasa, mi amigo? Corpus Christi in the building, Texas in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all tap in with my man, Drupi Martinez. He got some hot new music, AB, Da Vinci, TMP, the whole crew. Yeah. Job Blaze. And they got this hot, excuse me. Yep. Brother Droopy is and the boys, they got some new music. They got the hot podcast that's out right now. Droopy was rocking with Savage Life. You know, I'm not gonna go too much deeper into that. You know what I'm saying? I've been following Droopy and these guys for a while. We have some footage out now of he and I talking, having a really good conversation. And as you can see, the conversation we were having about Ricky Ross is kind of into the mix at this point, because Rick's resurging back out into the media circuit, because William Roberts constantly putting Rick's name in his mouth. I mean, obviously, Freeway lives rent free in this motherfucker's mind, because he's always got some slick shit to say. But hey, if you're gonna keep my partner's name relevant, it's cool, you know. And Rick has always been transparent about everything that he's done. Rick has not lied about anything. If you know Rick, you know Rick's not gonna sit there and lie to you, right? He'll tell you the truth. You might not like what it sounds like, but he's going to tell you the truth, right? So Rick is now having to deal with William Roberts talking about on this other podcast, well, the podcast that this guy did with Rick over 10, 13 years ago. And the guy just asked him a very simple question. Hey man, did you get the influence username from Freeway Ricky Ross? And he went off the deep end about why would I do something like that? And Freeway Ricky Ross is a junkie or some shit, or something about why don't you bring up the crack and him smoking crack and this and that. Okay, number one, and then of course him talking about him being a snitch and all this other kind of stuff. Rick talked about all of that. Rick expressed all of the things that he's gone through in his life, right? The one thing that you're forgetting, Mr. Roberts, is that the redemption story of a man, it doesn't make a difference what he's gone through. Anybody that has gone through any kind of turmoil in their life, in their living present day, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in life, and you constantly trying to tear someone down because of your insecurities, everyone knows you stole this man's identity. Whether you say in terms of accounting he was making $3 million a day or not, we know the story. You're forgetting the impact of the story, my friend. You're forgetting the fact that Iran-Contra, he was in the center of that entire situation. He and Danilo Blandón were flooding the streets with cocaine that the government was getting from Blandón. We had that conversation about the Sandinistas and the Contra and Ronald Reagan, John Poindexter, and the role that Freeway Ricky Ross played in it. Yes, he was moving shit across the nation. He had California, he had the West Coast sold up. He had parts of Ohio sold up, Arkansas sold up, Vegas sold up, Oakland dealing with Lil Darryl, all of these folks that were up there in that area. They were pipelining this shit everywhere. Now, I'm not praising it. I'm not sitting there patting them on the back, condoning it. None of that. It is what it is. The story happened. This is real, accounted for information. The numbers are possibly off. Yes, you are 100% correct. As a matter of fact, you are 1,000% correct, Mr. Roberts, because he funded a fucking war from the amount of dope that they were selling. So 3 million might have been a little light. So you can't fathom that because everything that you're thinking about is transactional with a credit card, Apple Pay, iTunes. So they tracking all your shit. Back then, we talking about boatloads of dollars and the equivalency of those dollars to present day dollars. Isn't that how you do it on the evaluation? Based on interest rate and everything else, guess what? Yesterday's dollar has appreciated to $2026. Why do we act as though or try to cast out people because of who they were, what they accomplished, and try to diminish them by saying, oh, they were just a crackhead? You know how many motherfuckers was freebasing back then? Tooting, Quaaludes, PCP, smoking weed. Man, stop. Acting as though that's something that was odd. You didn't get addicted to goddamn smoking dope. And this isn't an argument as though, hey man, I'm the right or the wrong in it. I'm just saying that you're making it seem as though things that happen in people's lives, the rise and fall of, the resiliency of, sitting in prison, serving a life sentence, and finding your way out and getting back onto the street and becoming one of the hottest mainstream motivational speakers on the planet, and moves around with impunity because he's a real street nigga, my nigga. That shit in you, not on you. You don't have to talk about it. You ain't got to flaunt it. You don't have to sit there and be what you think the world wants you to be. You can walk these streets without security because I am of the people. That's Freeway Ricky Ross, man. Y'all. Comical. It's comical because you're missing the point. And if someone encroaches on your brand because you're not using Maybach anymore, Maybach music didn't Mercedes sue the hell out of you? You changed your name really to Ricky Rose because you were trying to switch up out of the Freeway Ricky Ross situation because it was too much heat for you. It's still too much heat because you're still finding yourself having to talk about Freeway Ricky Ross. And yes, keep his name on your tongue because you're keeping him so relevant. Good press, bad press, it don't make a difference. The conversation is still being had because you're running your mouth about it. Rick don't talk about you, man. The only reason why he talks about you is to respond to the shit that you may say from questions that other people may ask. And instead of taking a high road because you know what you've done, you're trying to deflect. You wanting to make it seem as though, nah, there's no way that I could get my persona and my swag from somebody like this. Bro, stop being silly, man. Stop being silly. Yeah. Can't say the gig is up, but the story is really out. And you trying to sit there and just like what Snowfall did at the end of the run, trying to make Rick out to be a junkie, strung out on dope, aimless, lost in the streets with no hope. You obviously aren't following the story. So I'm not going to keep going down this road. I'm just stating that, all of my partners that get out of prison and are fighting for their life every day, I'm going to keep sitting there talking about them in high regard because I believe in the fact that, hey, man, everyone deserves an opportunity and multiple chances, not just a second chance, but multiple chances in getting it right. Because we've all made mistakes. Every last one of us. Now, granted, a lot of these niggas is some killers. I get it. But aren't we all? See, that's the one thing that we forget. That it's not something that people sit around the dinner table and talk about. Like that's common conversation. No, we talk about excelling. We talk about achieving, mentoring, bringing kids to the table and showing them a better way than what we had to go through in our lives. How many drug dealers do you know have an easy life? How many criminals do you know that have an easy life? You see? The reason why I say this is because there's a very big chance coming from that era, a very big chance. I'd say 75 to 95% chance that if you was in the game back in the day and you was a heavy hitter, you didn't been shot at. You didn't shot at some motherfuckers. The possibility and the probability of you hitting a couple of motherfuckers. Rick's been kidnapped, set up, just like my brother Terry Allred. I told him all, Melvin Farmer, all of these guys that we have conversations with to bring it to life, true to life in terms of, hey, man, this is not the road you want to go down. Because sitting in prison for 30 plus years ain't no fucking fun. Period. Drupal Marinez, he'll tell you, he sat down for 10 years. They've come on here and talked to you about what they've gone through in their life for real, not some fictitious story, not being a CEO and I'm telling stories of other people's lives. No. I don't even know the fella. I'm pretty sure he's a pretty nice guy. But I can tell you that he's a fake. My name is Galen. Galen Smith. I don't pretend to be anyone else. I'm Big G because I have two sons. Guess what their names are? Galen Jr. and Galen III. Lua and Tolu. I'm Tassi. 1, 2, and 3. So I don't live my life pretending, even in the entertainment space or sphere, pretending to be someone else. You know, like displacement disorder, associative disorder, or something. There's got to be. See, that's why I'm not a therapist. I can't give you the clinical terms of what's going on with somebody when they believe that there's someone else. It's not schizophrenia. It's some psychosomatic something that's going on to make you believe that, hey, I'm going to live my life, my entire life, as someone else. Now, Jamie Foxx, he's living his life, but the pseudonym that he uses gets him paid in his movies and the whole nine yards. And if you know Jamie, when he's out in public, he goes by his real name. It's just that the rest of the world calls him Jamie Foxx. Your name is William Roberts, but you want people to call you Ricky Ross or Ricky Rose. That's odd to me. And yes, you talked about the lawsuit. Yes, you did. He did sue you. But hey, man, I can't knock what people try to do. But then when you try to run somebody's name through the mud because of your platform and because of who you are, so to speak, it never ends well for you, man. It never ends well for you. And I can assure you, Rick's not thinking about you. You know, people like us that are friends of Rick, because he's not going to respond. He's not going to talk about it unless somebody asks him about it. We respond because we hear this nonsense. We hear the bullshit, and you make it seem as though you're telling stories that we don't already know about. That's the sad part. So any of my family members that may have had an issue with drugs or addiction, I'm supposed to cut them off. I'm not supposed to fuck with them anymore. Or am I supposed to wrap my arms around them and pour into them? Y'all, as the public, y'all let me know. I'm talking about my friends, my family, right? But if I hear someone speaking against my friends, you expect me not to speak out on it? I don't do this for likes and clicks. I don't play the verbal gymnastics. I'm not into a world of debauchery and bullshit. That's petty. Petty to the point to where it's just downright stupidity and ignorance. First thing you got to do, man, is love yourself. Welcome everybody to the program. I'm just in my thoughts right now about some things that are going on. I appreciate everyone for joining the show. My man Jay Shaw says, "Yeah, life is funny, but you gotta keep pushing." That's right. That's right. My man Jay Shaw's been going through some stuff, some ailments, some pains, some abdominal issues. I am not going to try to announce what it is, but it starts with a D and ends with a litus. But I'm sure he's not laughing about the pain. So, of course, our prayers go out to my man Jonathan Shaw and my sister Angel Williams. You guys keep my brother in your prayers. This conversation is being brought to you by the Butterfly Collection. Today's episode of Industry Talk is proudly sponsored by the Butterfly Collection. That's right, the Butterfly Collection is here. Gentle stories, big lessons, bright imagination. Books are available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Ingram Spark by author Angel Williams. These books are perfect for pre-K programs, kindergarten classrooms, elementary schools, classroom libraries, bedtime reading, and SEL programs. Be sure to get your copy today. Be sure to get your copies today, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I'm telling you to get your copies today is because if you get it today, if you get your pre-orders today, they get shipped out on the 18th. They get shipped out on the 18th. So tap in, lock in, and grab that collection for your nieces, for your nephews, for your preschoolers, middle schoolers, public libraries. If you know in the area that needs the book, put them in contact. If you have a bookstore in your area that needs these books, lock us in. Speaking of books, once again, I push books. The one book in particular that I push is Fred Ricky Ross, right? The Untold Autobiography, right? You can go to our website at GEMSIT, GEMSIT Publishing.com, GEMS, GEMSIT Publishing.com, and you can go to our bookshelf and you can buy this book. Right? Crazy. But, I didn't know crackheads produce books. But you know what they do? People that go through shit in their lives have a story to tell. That doesn't mean that defines their fucking life, jackass. If everything I've done and people held everything against me and condemned me for everything that I've done in my life, not that I would give a damn, but it's not going to be a fair weather story. It's a lot of turbulence in my fucking life. And guess what? It's in this book. He talks about it all. He talks about everything in the book. Crazy. Maybe you read it in the book because he didn't hide from anything that he's done. Think about that. Right? And back in the day, let's think about this too. Back in the day, you had to learn to wear gloves. You had to learn to wear pharmaceutical, hospital gloves. Because they didn't know that the dope was penetrating through the bag. So yeah, shit, I'm high as a motherfucker. Why? Because I'm picking this shit up with my hands and not gloves. So it's seeping through your skin. This is cocaine, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they in the motherfucking lab whipping this shit up over the stove. Ready, Rob? Crack cocaine, nigga. Yes, guess what? It's gonna give off fumes. Just like sitting in a room, smoking reefer, you're gonna get a contact. So obviously, Mr. William Roberts has never been in those types of situations. In a trap house, cooking dope. Or being the individual who's supplying all of this shit and making sure that all of your trap houses are straight and going to these locations and making sure everybody is good. And if they mixing it up, goddamn, I'm not just about to leave or this. Shit, this is my life. Dope. Rick tells you himself, he thought his life was going to be that of being if I'm going to be selling dope, I'm going to be the best dope dealer in the game. And so now you come up with this next book, The 21 Keys of Success, right? The 21 Keys of Success. Ride with Rick. Okay. So now you got two bestsellers. You got two bestsellers on your hand from what you call a junkie, a crackhead. But you don't want to tell the success story. You don't want to tell the resiliency story. You just want to sit there and kick down another brother. See, now we're bringing self-deprecation into play. How we demoralize our own. And you built your entire empire off of this man's name. You thought you was everybody. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover. Damn, who do you not want to be? Can we just get to just being ourselves? And like I said before on my show, I'm sure as William Roberts, you would probably still be a phenomenal artist. Or you couldn't go with Big Willie? Because Will Smith, he's Big Willie. I mean, what's going on? And I don't sit here trying to sound cool. I sound how I sound. And everybody that knows me, I'm the same way. I've always been the same way. I'm serious as a heart attack. You ever had a heart attack? Well, when you do one of these days, you'll know just how serious I am. I didn't mean to make this whole show about Freeway. I thought Jarrell was going to join me, but I know Jarrell definitely still dealing with his family. He came on for a brief last night, but he's definitely still dealing with some family issues. Coming off of a great weekend, like I said, people send me this stuff. That's why I'm talking about it. I wouldn't be talking about it if folks wouldn't have sent it to me, and I would, and I watched it. Wouldn't have had anything, to mention about it. Rick posted the information on his page. That's just how real Rick is on his IG. He posted it on his page just to show for man, give a damn about what Roberts is saying. I'm still out here keeping it real. You talking about going to the dentist and plaque on a motherfucker's teeth or some shit. Man, come on, bro. Don't you have something better to talk about in life than trying to humiliate another individual? That's weird behavior to me. You want to go to the money. Oh man, who got money? Man, look, man, money don't mean nothing if you got a bullet in your ass. Come on. Stop being so tunnel vision focused on that's what it's all about. That means that you live in your life transactionally. You have no network. You have no real friends. You have no real support. There's no way. Because everything is transactional to you. Yeah, we all businessmen. We all understand the bottom line. But that inner circle, that network, that core of individuals that are there for you and are going to stand for you on your behalf when you're not in the room, who you got, man? Who you got? And we're not talking about internet fans, fanatics. No, we're not talking. We're talking about people in your corner, and we're not talking about your lawyers. They got to be in your corner. They pay you. Pay them. That's fair weather. That's fleeting. Because as soon as you stop paying, that disappears too. So how you approach this industry, how you approach this life, and how you get it in across the board, you have to be mindful and wary of who you step on while you climbing that ladder, who you kick back down the ladder as you're going up. Because at the end of the day, everybody that's climbing that ladder aren't going to sit there and succumb to the ignorance. As you climbing up that ladder, guess what? One of the motherfuckers might grab you by the leg and pull your ass down. Or figure out their way to the top and beat you to the top while you're still struggling up that same ladder and have an opportunity to assist you. And so now they have a life choice to make. Do I sit there and extend that olive branch and give my brother a hand? Not a hand or a handout or no, do I extend that olive branch to my brother? You see, that's the dilemma that I'm going to leave you with today. And I want y'all to think about that. And remind me tomorrow of what I would do in that situation. I'm pretty sure a bunch of you already know me well enough to know what I'm going to do. Because I don't owe you anything. I don't even know your conversation or even to be in my presence enough to where I can smell the air that you're trying to breathe. I enjoy isolation. Gives me the opportunity to think and think clearly about everything and every move. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's show, hit me up. If you know my number, call me. Put it in the messaging. I will respond. But with that being said, you all know, man, it's been another great episode of Industry Talk here on the Primetime Network. I am your host, Big G. Let me give it to you like this. Yeah. See, I'm grooming my shit now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We talked about conformity the other day. You know what I mean? I'm joining the party. You know, I'm working on getting the big deal. You know, I too want a YouTube check. And that's some shit. Everybody out here fighting to get a YouTube check. That's hilarious. No, man, go create your own lane. Yeah, that extra income is definitely nice. And to be on these platforms, I always talk about it. You definitely want those things to work for you. So definitely keep putting down the effort to get there, but don't make that the be all end all in terms of why you create, why you motivate, why you inspire, and why you sit there and have dialogue across these platforms to the world. You want your messaging out, and your messaging will land and hit the right people. They will tune in, they will lock in, they will tell a friend to tell a friend and tell another friend. I assure you. Some things just take time. You have to find your voice, you have to find your lane. And when you do so, and when you sit there and rock out and you do it your way, authentically, the fans who resonate and feel your energy, they're coming. They're coming. And I'm not going to keep beating that dead horse because you all know how this works, man. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Now, how that reaction happens, it could be instantly, or it can take a lifetime. You see, you can never be the judge of how that happens. But every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Okay? Um, so stay positive, keep a positive mindset, and do everything in good spirit. You know, the affirmations that you speak into your soul and into your existence and into who you are, you have to also go live by that. The tenor and the tone and the tenets and the edicts that you set for yourself, you have to live by them in an unabridged fashion. Because if you hold back and you reserve and don't completely submit to your own ambition, then you're going to fall short every time. that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I know I rambled on a lot about a few things. And like I told y'all, man, I just cut my hair the other day, right? I just cut my hair the other day. And as y'all can see, I told y'all in 2 days, it's going to be right back. Everything's starting to grow like a goddamn chia pet around this motherfucker. I'm talking about everything's going to grow back instantly. That's why I don't cut my hair. I had dreadlocks at one time. Very long dreadlocks at one time. I think it might be that time for me to grow them back. We'll see. But as always, beautiful people, y'all know with me, it's about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay dangerous. What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G. And this is my personal invite to all of you to join me on Industry Talk on the Prime Time Network daily at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I get into great conversations with entrepreneurs, artists, industry leaders, you name it, we bring it to the table. So make sure you tap in with us, lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We stream on all major platforms. And be sure to visit us at gemsitpublishing.com. This is Industry Talk. Let's get into it.
Motion.